What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got a lot going on here this week here. Congress has a big thing to work on here. The U.S. government could default this week here. We'll go over the details of it in this video. Also, Republicans in the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, strike down a ban on cigarettes. We'll go over that here as well in this video. Lots of things here. Yeah, they're really we'll go over their priorities here of what they're doing here. So let's jump right in here. If you're new to our channel here, thanks so much for liking and sharing our videos. And here we go. Okay, first of all, you would think that this would be one of their top priorities because the U.S. will hit the debt limits on Thursday, according to the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and the Treasury Department, that they will start taking steps to avoid default. And Janet Yellen warns Congress that if they don't do this, that they could start missing payments like Treasury bond payments, interest payments, and could even miss things like Social Security payments, SSI payments, SSDI payments, or any type of payments that the government would have to fund because the government could run out of money if they don't raise the debt limit. That's right. And they're running out of time to do this, and it's not looking good. Here is newly re-elected Senator Raphael Warnock, and he says that lawmakers shouldn't be playing chicken with the American economy because the entire economy could collapse if they don't raise the debt limit. Take a listen.
Okay, let's turn to the congressional agenda. You're elected your first full term. You've run 5 times in the last 3 years, I believe. Obviously, an incredibly divided Congress. Realistically, what can you do working with the Republicans in this Congress?
Well, listen, I came to the Congress and we were 50-50. We've got a lot of bipartisan work done. I'm the 18th most bipartisan senator in the Senate. I think that has something to do with being a pastor. You know, when you're a pastor, you have to welcome and embrace whoever comes through that door. And I look forward to getting good things done for the people of Georgia and for the American people.
So House Republicans are saying that they want something in return for raising the debt limit, that there's got to be some controls on spending in exchange for raising the debt limit. You've heard from the White House that they will not negotiate. That's the message from the White House. No negotiation on this. The Republicans just have to raise the debt limit. Is that a mistake? I mean, you just said, you know, you were the 18th most bipartisan. You campaigned on working with Republicans. Shouldn't the White House at least be open to negotiations?
Here's the thing that we have to be careful of. We have to make sure that we don't make the work in D.C. about the politicians. The fact of the matter is we can do deficit reduction. We can deal with our national debt. But at the same time, the last thing we ought to be doing is playing chicken with the American economy. We've been through the onslaught of a very long pandemic that has created a lot of challenges for the American families. They pay their bills. I think they expect the government to pay its bills. We can do this on a bipartisan basis as we've done time and time again. But I think we lose our way when we make the issue about the politicians. I'm focused on the people of Georgia. I'm focused on farmers who are trying their best to make it work, their businesses work in this tough economy. I'm thinking about ordinary workers who deserve a livable wage. I'm thinking about those who are trying to make their lives work. And when we make it about the politicians, we lose our way.
And obviously, if there's a default, a U.S. government default, it's going to affect everybody, all the people you just mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. The people who are on the margins, who are the most vulnerable, are the ones who would suffer the most when we put the full faith and credit of the United States government in jeopardy. We shouldn't be playing chicken with the American economy. This is not a game. This is people's lives. They have given us the sacred trust of representing them at the highest levels of government. It's something I take very seriously, which is why I'm so deeply honored that the people of Georgia decided finally, after 5 elections, to give me a 6-year term, and I'm going to remain focused on them.
Meanwhile, as we near a government default here in a matter of, well, really days or even hours left, what are they worried about? Well, here's what they're worried about. Republicans on Capitol Hill in the House of Representatives end a Capitol Hill smoking ban. That's right. This is their priorities of what they've been working on. Republicans have rolled back a ban against smoking tobacco in the House of Representatives. Lawmakers and staff will once again be able to smoke carefree after Republicans ended the prohibition against tobacco upon taking the majority of the House of Representatives. The ban was originally instituted in 2007. So what is that, 16 years ago, under then Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Under that prohibition, members were still permitted to smoke inside their own offices. Smoking indoors is outlawed in all of Washington, D.C., though. However, the Capitol is governed under federal jurisdictions, leaving the specifics of many regulations up to the House and Senate leaders. Former Speaker of the House John Boehner famously smoked more than a pack of cigarettes a day while in office. Wow. By the time he left the position, the carpets and walls of his office reportedly needed to be refurbished and the air purified. Yeah, so it seems like they're really in an urgency to work hard for Americans and really, really get things done for the American people, right? Yeah. So far, you can see how urgently they're getting things done here. They've basically got nothing done that I can see. Have they? You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But one thing that needs to be done is the debt limit needs to be raised here, or else our government, our country could default. That's pretty serious, because if we have a default, literally it could cost the country trillions of dollars. The government would run out of money. They won't be able to pay interest payments, bond payments. The government will literally run out of money, and they won't be able to print new money. We've seen in the past, we've had the president, we've had senators, we've had Bernie Sanders, we've had people say that literally the things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, payments like this would potentially be delayed or even missed because the government could potentially run out of money. So we'll see. I'll keep you up to date here. Republican Congressman George Santos, newly elected. This is the guy who basically lied about all sorts of things and then admitted to it to get elected under kind of false pretenses, would be removed from U.S. Congress if he broke campaign finance laws, says Republican James Comer. Here's what James Comer says. U.S. Representative George Santos, who lied about much of his resume and life story, will be removed from Congress if found to have broken campaign finance laws. Fellow Republican and House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said on Sunday. Here's what Republican Congressman James Comer says on George Santos. Take a look here.
7 of your fellow House Republicans have called for Congressman George Santos to step down. Former House Speaker Paul Ryan told me a couple days ago that Santos was a fraudulent candidacy and he should step down. Should he?
Look, he's a bad guy. this is something that, you know, it's really bad. He's not the first politician, unfortunately, to make it to Congress to lie. You know, Elizabeth Warren wasn't truthful about her ethnicity, and I could go on and on. But look, George Santos was duly elected by the people. He's going to be under strict ethics investigations, not necessarily for lying, but for his campaign finance potential violation. So I think that Santos is being examined thoroughly. It's his decision whether or not he should resign. It's not my decision, but certainly I don't approve of how he made his way to Congress, and I haven't even introduced myself to him because, you know, it's pretty despicable, the lies that he told. But at the end of the day, it's not up to me or any other member of Congress to determine whether he could be kicked out for lying. Now, if he broke campaign finance laws, then he will be removed.
Now, I believe they actually can do a vote to kick him out of Congress. I believe they need a 2/3 vote. I don't think Kevin McCarthy wants to do that. The main reason is because he only has a 4-vote lead to basically have the Republican majority and for him to be the speaker. And there's a long 2 years of ahead of him till the next election. So lot can happen in the next 2 years. Like, people can die, which actually happens, believe it or not. People can resign, people can retire. A lot happens, believe it or not, over the course of the next 2 years with 400 and some people in Congress and in the House of Representatives. So believe it or not, that actually happens almost every single term. So if this were to happen, that could get whittled down to 3. Depending on what would happen here, if they hold a new election and if they lose that seat or not, it could go down to 3. That's a very, very slim margin for the House of Representatives. And you think about in the Senate, there's only a 1-seat margin. Remember, last term, there was a no-seat margin. It was a 50-50 Senate, and the tiebreaker actually went to the Vice President of the United States in a 50-50 Senate. Kamala Harris was the tiebreaker. So literally on thin ice here. So I kind of feel like that's Kevin McCarthy's, the reason he doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to oust him. But I mean, this is just, it's kind of egregious here, what's going on here with this. It's almost like at some point you got to say, enough is enough. I just can't. But honestly, I don't know if Kevin McCarthy can oust him just on his own. I think they have to vote on it. So we'll have to see here. Or the guy just has to step down, which apparently he's just not willing to. He just wants to you know, it's kind of like a scam artist when they are they just want to cling on to that money as much as they can. So we'll see. We'll see here. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. If you're new to our channel, if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's completely free to subscribe, and I'll keep you up to date here. Also, thanks so much for liking and sharing our videos. Here's some videos you can watch next. Here is actually 2 different letters going out to Social Security recipients that you need to know about. And here is actually $1,200 checks going out to millions of Americans that you can watch that video here as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.